Hey everyone, I'm Joe and today I'm going to be doing a book review of The Massacre of Mankind by Stephen Baxter. Now this is a very new release. It's only released in January 2017. This is the authorised sequel to H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, which I also happen to have. Now, before I talk about the plot to Massacre of Mankind, I need to quickly go over the plot of War of the Worlds, because otherwise this kind of won't make as much sense, and also a lot of my review is based upon knowing a little bit about War of the Worlds. So, the War of the Worlds is actually very simple. Martians come down from Mars, obviously, and they land outside of London. There is only a small amount of them, and they then proceed to basically attack the countryside and indeed London with their heat rays, and generally destroy the place, kill people, and create a fair bit of mass destruction. However, the feel of the book felt kind of small and relatively insignificant, actually. I was expecting something grander, considering it's the War of the Worlds. You know, I was expecting it to include actually the world, not just southern England. Sadly, it didn't achieve that. I mean, it was well written, and I did enjoy the book, but I didn't love it, frankly. And I'm happy to say, though, that The Massacre of Mankind lives up to what I was expecting from the War of the Worlds, because this truly is global, it's better written, the ideas in it are more interesting, and frankly it's just a better book in my mind. I mean, Baxter really has gone all out on this, and I really enjoyed this book a surprising amount. As far as the plot goes on this one, again, it's relatively simple. This time, the aliens, well, Martians, return, but unlike the first book, where there's only a small group of them, which is essentially a sort of small scout group attacking, this time they mean business, and they start landing in massive numbers all over the world. This truly is global. And this time, instead of going around in small groups, in their giant walker machines, this time they go around in hundreds upon hundreds of them, and they basically slaughter and destroy massive amounts of cities, people, and generally really do damage everywhere all over the world. And the scale of it and the impact of it is frankly remarkable, and this is what I was hoping War of the Worlds would be, because this was big scale, dramatic, and it was better written. As far as the writing style goes, Baxter is trying to imitate and sort of reminisce on Wells and War of the Worlds, of course, but he's not trying to clone his writing style. This is still Stephen Baxter, it's still very much him, not Wells. And I like that, because Wells' writing style was perfectly good, but I find it a bit sort of dry at times and a bit sort of straightforward and a little bit dull at times. Baxter's writing is more interesting, and it's a bit sort of fresher, and also the writing is a bit more cleaner and on point. It's a bit more focused, frankly. It doesn't wander off, which Wells does with War of the Worlds, but like he does it in several of his books. It sort of wanders off slightly. This is a bit of a tighter book, and that is obviously something that I greatly appreciate. Also, this is noticeably thicker than War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds is actually a surprisingly small book. This is like twice as long, but it's well worth reading because it's like twice as good, frankly. Now in this is set over 20 years, but I think it's about 25 years. I should have made a note of actually how many years, frankly, before I did this review. After the events of War of the Worlds, and indeed the world has evolved from this initial attack. We've started using bits of Martian technology, well, the stuff that we can actually find, and indeed the stuff that we can do anything with in our everyday lives as much as we can, but humanity is also aware that the Martians will attack again, obviously, which they do in the book. Likewise though, this evolution of human society applies to the Martians. They've learnt from the War of the Worlds, when their attack was basically extremely ineffective and pretty useless, and they realise that they need to up their game basically to make a mark on Earth, and indeed make Earth theirs. They want us gone, or slaves, and they want Earth as theirs. So they really do mean business, and they're more tactical, they're more intelligent, and you get more of a sense of almost empathy with the Martians, which frankly wasn't present in War of the Worlds and frankly wasn't possible in the first book, which is surprising because empathy with Martians who you never see and you never talk to or communicate with in any way is really weird, but you kind of do. And it's actually really impressive to see, frankly, because by the end of the book you get a sense of the Martians just want somewhere to call home. Fortunately, they chose an Earth, which means they have to murder us all to do it, which is kind of unfortunate. As far as the point of view goes, in War of the Worlds, the point of view was a male character, and to be honest, he was fairly sexist, and as a result, he wasn't the most fun character to see the world from, because he saw things from a very fixed point of view. He wasn't all that intelligent, and yeah, the book suffered, frankly, quite a lot, I thought, from this. In Baxter's Massacre of Mankind, however, this is massively better because the point of view character is a character that that knew the guy from War of the Worlds, and it is a female character. She's far more intelligent, she has much more of a sense of empathy, and frankly she actually understands and is more perceptive of what is going on around her. As a result, the book is much better though, because you see things that you wouldn't have been able to see in the first book. I mean, I know it's a different author, but even so, you still get the sense that even if it's been the same author writing both books, it still would have been drastically different, because in this book the main character sees things differently and the way she thinks about the world is very different. Of course, the world has evolved as well due to the events of the first book, so her viewpoint is of course going to be a bit different as well, so you do have to take that into consideration. But it's still better though overall, and I did appreciate it. So overall, this is basically an evolved form of War of the Worlds. It has a truly global style, which War of the Worlds lacked. The characters are better, the point of view is better, the Martians are much more improved, the world makes sense, the history, this is kind of an alternative history now, of course, because due to the Martian attack in War of the Worlds, World War One still happened in a drastically different way, and countries are now got different diplomatic relations and such, so there are still wars going on at the same time that the Martians attack in the book, which really makes you think, and it's really an interesting idea of this alternative history while still being in the War of the Worlds setting. Frankly, it's really fun, and I really enjoyed this book because it was just better in most respects than War of the Worlds. It even had more of a surprise factor than War of the Worlds, actually, because War of the Worlds, due to obviously what it is and how iconic it is, you kind of know exactly what's going to happen. You know the Martians are going to come down, you know about the big walkers, you know how they end up at the end of the book. Obviously with this is fresh, this is obviously new. You don't quite know how anything's going to go. You don't know how many humans will survive, if there's any, because, Baxter will happily kill off characters as well in his other books. So it's a bit different, and frankly, I really enjoyed this, and overall I'd say if you have got an interest in reading War of the Worlds, or indeed have read War of the Worlds and liked it, I would greatly recommend this, because frankly it's War of the Worlds version 2 and improved, quite simply. So that is it for my review of The Massacre of Mankind by Stephen Baxter. If you've read this, or indeed War of the Worlds, and you'd like to tell me your thoughts on them, or you're just interested in reading them, then please leave a comment. Also, any books that might be similar to these that you think I might be interested in, book recommendation, then of course say so as well, because I'm always interested in new and different ideas. And with that said, that is it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.